Welcome to the Awakened Human Podcast, the place to be for highly progressive yet extremely grounded intuitive guidance, energetic support, metaphysical tools, and higher consciousness for highly successful, ambitious, soul-centered visionaries and leaders like you who want to make a global impact and achieve your highest fulfillment by aligning with your soul's true divine agenda and your role in God's plan of lighted creation, and by utilizing your divine gifts, talents, and abilities from the higher realms. We do this by working with the non-physical realms of higher guidance, energy, intuition, and powerful metaphysical tools for healing and transformation. We understand that the real change and transformation that's being called for on planet Earth and in our own lives and our own businesses doesn't come from outside of us, but rather from within. And that the change that we desire to experience in our lives and in our world requires us to change from the inside. I'm your host, Lori Ann Spagna. I'm a best-selling author, spiritual catalyst, intuitive, energy worker, ascension guide, multidimensional channel, animal communicator, visionary, lightworker, and luminary. I have dedicated my entire professional life to helping thousands and thousands of humans and animals all over the world in service and contribution to the light, which is the expansion, the upliftment, the evolution of humanity, to awaken, to uplift, and to align with our true divine source, which exists within each and every one of us. It is my passion, joy, and purpose to share this information, energy, and consciousness with you. Thank you so much for being here today and for sharing time with me. Let's get started.
Blessings, beautiful soul. It's me, Lori Spagna, here with you today for another podcast episode of the Awakened Elevated Human. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so glad that you're listening and tuning in. And yeah, thanks for showing up and participating. Today, I want to share about the slow lane, which is the fastest lane there is. And I want to tell you, as many of you have heard, if you've been listening to the last few podcast episodes, I'm on the road. By the way, the last few podcast episodes, I thought they were really good. Let me know if you liked them, if they were helpful. I always love to hear from you. So I'm on the road traveling, and I've been traveling through states and sometimes on major highways and freeways and other times on, smaller roads, state roads or local roads. And one of the things that I've really been enjoying, which I talked about a little bit in the last episode, and I'm going to do more episodes on this, is some really great direct guidance. Sometimes when I'm driving, I notice, I'm not a slow driver, but I'm also not a speeder driver. Like, I typically go the speed limit. When I don't know where I'm going and I'm traveling through a lot of mountains where I am, entering the part of where Georgia and North Carolina connect and going through the northern parts of North Carolina, there's a lot of mountainous roads, and some of them are weavy, and other people who are locals drive faster than me because they know the roads. So, and especially when I'm on freeways, I've been on some of the highways, there's been big trucks, especially in the earlier part of the journey where I was moving from Florida into Georgia. And when the big trucks are going, one of the things that my guidance would say is the slow lane is the fast lane. Just go a little slower, stay in the slow lane, and you'll get there even faster. And so I would just listen to that, and I've really been enjoying some really great guidance while I drive. I go into kind of like a slightly altered brain waves, and I just listen. And sometimes I'm asking questions, or sometimes I'm just listening and I'm being told lots of things. And so this conversation about the slow lane is the fast lane, is the fastest lane, I started getting taught from my own team and my higher self all about this topic. One of the things you'll often hear me say, or people in my circles will hear, I'll always say, well, the fastest road to wealth and prosperity is through generosity, or the fastest road to joy is through service and contribution, joyful service and contribution. And the fastest road to peace and harmony is through peace and harmony. If you want to be peaceful, you just have to be peaceful, right? Okay, but my point is, those aren't my things, right? They were given to me by my team and my higher team. So now they gave me this new one that the slowest road is the fastest road. So while I'm driving and I'm in this slightly altered state and I'm enjoying the ride and, staying safe in the right lane or the slow lane, they started giving me all these downloads and conversation about how this applies right now on Earth, how important this is. Because in the physical earthly world, we can see an acceleration of chaos and craziness, especially in the United States, you can see it. But, just with all the things going on. And in the earthly physical world, we can see, wow, just some horrible earth changes and crazy, crazy earth changes that are definitely creating, a lot of changes in our society, whether they're fires or mudslides or horrible weather patterns, hurricanes, tornadoes, flooding, tsunamis. They're happening, right? And lots of things going on in the physical world, politicians and wars and, conspiracy being exposed and just on and on and on, right? Healthcare being just ridiculous. It's starting to become more and more obvious that big pharma is only interested in keeping people sick and those kinds of things, right? So why is this relevant to this slow lane being the fast lane is that as this acceleration of the physical world and AI, I didn't even mention that, like now with AI, everything's happening like so much faster. And if you're a business person and you have to learn things, all kinds of new technologies faster than you can even keep up, right? So then it becomes a matter of how do you keep up in this accelerated pace? And some of you have heard some of the recent episodes. I talked about how much, especially on my YouTube, I talked about how much I had gotten to a point of burnout, like literal burnout over the past month. I was just doing so much, giving so much, there's a whole episode on people pleasing and overgiving and overdoing things. And I just needed to take a break, right? So I stopped pretty much everything for a while. And I just decided I'm just going to do nothing, like as little as I have to do. And this is where this concept is coming from. When things start getting really crazy and really chaotic, and you might be hitting burnout, or maybe you just can't keep up with everything. And in some cases, there's demands, like people will write letters like urgent, respond now, or like there's something even in my inbox from like the government. It has nothing to do with anything in particular. It's just a deadline for something. And it's like the deadline, I'm like, where did that deadline come from? And it was 2 days ago. I'm like, well, I guess, I'll do it as soon as I can. It's almost like the world imposing deadlines on you. And all of this acceleration of you got to do this by this, you got to do this right now. And meanwhile, you're like, I'm just trying to live and stay healthy and happy in my world. I'm just trying to have a good life in a way that doesn't harm myself or anyone else. I'm just trying to live in accordance with how God is guiding and directing me and my own team. And I'm just trying to be a good person in the world and make a significant contribution to the best of my abilities. Like, that's what we're all doing. Yeah, I have to pay my bills, of course. I have to honor my agreements, of course. I have to feed my dog. I have to take a shower, right? To pay the rent, all those kinds of things, whatever it is that we have to do. But the point is that those things will all get done in divine timing the moment you say, I will do them in divine timing. It will all work out just fine. Because now you're impressing this upon the quantum field, the field of divine intelligence. And you're saying, I will move at the pace that's right for me, and everything else will conform and allow. Now, that concept might seem too far out there for some people, but this is how it works. The quantum field, which is the field of all that is, the field that we experience in the physical reality, which is made up of infinite consciousness and nanoparticles that are so small they're subatomic particles, which, by the way, the science is starting to notice these and study these. It's fascinating. There's reports coming out about this, these nanoparticles. That could be another podcast episode all on its own. But all of this field of consciousness is constantly flowing around us. By the way, those nanoparticles are called neutrinos. It's fascinating what's coming out about those. And the field is responding to you. So if you're in the field and you're saying, got to get there now, got to do it now, got to do it now, got to do it now. And if you're impatient with yourself, that's going to reflect back at you. Believe me, I have had over the past months people who were incredibly impatient with me because I was living that way for a long time. And I sort of realized I can't live this way anymore. I'm going to stop everything. And that's when this guidance started to come in, that the slow lane is the fastest lane there is. So when you start slowing down and just moving at your natural rhythm and your natural pace, the field around you starts adapting and responding to you. And as it adapts and responds to you, it stops making requirements of you that are not in accordance with your own divine timing. This is like how to work with time, is to start shifting, changing, and adapting within yourself. By the way, listen to last week's episode on relationships, because you have a relationship with time, right? Time. I've done other episodes on this, but time is just a construct that conforms to you too. So just like every relationship, when you write your relationship with yourself and your source, your relationship with time will also change. That's a PS from last week's episode. Regardless, the slowest lane is the fastest lane. The slow lane is the fast lane because it starts getting you there faster, because you no longer have frenetic, crazy energy and all kinds of impatient demands and unrealistic expectations. And you're no longer pushing yourself to burnout. And instead, you start allowing yourself to move at the pace that feels good, right, and safe for you, where you can feel divinely aligned, where you can know you can get to it. Today, I was only going to do one podcast. I actually batched out 3 because it was just flowing, because I'm in divine alignment, right? I'm in flow. I'm in the slow lane where everything is organizing and synchronizing in the best ways possible for me. So I hope that's been helpful for you. I'm going to make this one a short one today, but move at your own pace. That's the real message. That's the message my guidance was giving me. Don't try to rush. Don't try to speed. Just go at the pace that feels right for you. And know that everything will always fall into place in accordance with what's divinely aligned, divine timing for you. That's the fast lane. Don't try to speed up to meet the needs of the external world, because it'll just speed things up for you, with you, at you. Don't try to rush beyond your capacity, because the world's moving too fast right now. And you just get caught up in the chaos. Move at the pace that's right for you. And when I say movement, I mean everything about the way you physically move, the way you emotionally and energetically feel, and the way you mentally think. If you need to start practicing slowing down your thinking, you can do that too. I'm not telling you to slow down. I'm telling you the slow lane is the fastest lane there is. You'll get the most accomplished and the most done when you stop overburdening, overpushing yourself, and trying to speed through life and keep up with a pace that is impossible to keep up with. And that you allow the external world in all of its chaos to dictate to you the speed at which you move, because you're just one human and your best is good enough. Do what you can do at the pace that feels right for you. This is what my guidance was teaching me and sharing with me. And it might seem basic, but it felt really profound. And I'm living this stuff right now as I'm traveling cross country, and as I'm, well, not quite cross country, but, through states, and relocating to find my next home, and taking time along the way to really enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride, you guys. This is a time where we are liberating ourselves from the old paradigm of dictating how we're supposed to go and how we're supposed to be and how we're supposed to behave, and letting ourselves run ourselves amok into the ground, burnout, etc. And this is a whole new time where we get to change our own pace from within and recognize the higher truth. The slow lane is the fast lane there is. All right, you guys, I hope this has been helpful for you. I'm going to sign up for now. I'm sending you so much love. If you want more of this, join us in the Sacred Membership or Sacred Visionary Mentorship. We'll put the links below. I'm sending you so much love. I'm wishing you your most benevolent best. All right, farewell for now. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for listening today. If you loved the show and if you benefited in any way, if it helped you to up-level or expand your consciousness, if you gained any new insights or ideas, if it made you think or become more aware, or if there were some strategies or intuition that you may have benefited from in any way, would you please do me 2 easy and simple favors? First, if you would be willing to leave a review, it would mean the world to me. I'd be so grateful. And second, if you're willing to share this show with anyone else who would benefit, you can either post it on your social media or just email it to someone and share it with another person or any other people. It would be so awesome. This kind of thing is so helpful in expanding consciousness on the planet and helping others to benefit from this kind of teaching, which just simply isn't generally readily available in the mainstream. So sharing it really helps others benefit and helps our planet evolve and awaken. Plus, expressing gratitude and generosity in this way will also expand your capacity to give and receive even more. Either way, I just want to say thank you so much for being here and for participating and for sharing, and overall, just for being the magnificent, the spectacular, the brilliant, the fabulous, the wonderful you that you truly are, and for allowing yourself to be the very best version of you today and every day. All my love and gratitude to you.